Hello everyone. Well, we made some reservations, got us some tickets. The luggage has been dusted off and we've figured out the arrival process. It's all coming up in this video. It sure is hard to believe that it's been over 3 years since we've been home to our house in Samar. And with the recent changes made to the removal of some of the restrictions in the Philippines, it's time for us to go. Some of our viewers might know, if you're new to this channel, you may not know this, but some of our viewers already know that we've been stuck here in Guam for over 3 years because we are unvaccinated. We choose not to. We don't work. We're not required to. We stay healthy in our own way. We've both caught COVID. It was not a big thing. We recovered. So there's no reason, or we feel there's no reason for us to get vaccinated. But nonetheless, we've been shut out of the Philippines like many other people. But now, with the lifting of all the restrictions, most all restrictions, I should say, there are still some mask mandates in effect. If you've been watching some other YouTubers' channels on traveling in and out of the Philippines, if you've been staying up to date, President Marcos has signed the IATF resolution number 2, I believe it is, which basically removes all restrictions except for mask wearing in public places, hospitals, transportation centers, clinics, and it's basically optional to wear the mask anywhere else. But what I'm seeing and hearing from some people is that some businesses in the Philippines are still requiring people to wear a mask to enter the business. Well, there's a few businesses here in Guam that do that, and we choose not to participate. We don't give them our business if that's the case. That's their choice, I guess. No shoes, no shirt, no service. That's the way it goes. And there's some confusion on some of the online forums and comments and some videos, thinking that the restrictions are still pretty stringent, but they're not. If you are fully vaccinated and boosted, you can enter, no problem. If you are unvaccinated, all that's required is a 24-hour antigen test in advance from from a lab environment or from a supervised testing center. And there's 2 options with the antigen test. You can take it 24 hours before departure, or you can take it upon arrival. Now, upon arrival, I understand that there might be a cost up to maybe 1,000 pesos for the test. Here where we're at in Guam, there's a place, the government still provides antigen testing, so we're going to go down and get our antigen tests basically for free before the day before we get on the airplane. And there's 2 trains of thoughts here. One is, I think we'd rather be tested here before we get on the plane, just in case we were pop positive. You know, we can reschedule. Once you get to the Philippines, you get tested and pop positive, you're subject to 5 days worth of quarantine. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. So it's probably safer just to get the antigen test done before you leave. Are we feeling a bit nervous? Not really. I mean, we've got our plane tickets and all that stuff purchased. All we're doing is waiting for the date. We'll pack our bags and go. But the antigen testing can be a little nerve-wracking. I mean, we've both had COVID. We've both recovered. We, a year ago, we had antibody tests just to prove that we had COVID, thinking that maybe the Philippines would open up to fully recovered individuals. It never happened, but we know we've had it. You know, have we had it since? It's very possible. I just recovered from a 3-day cold last week, so it could have been another variant. I don't know. But the scary part is turning up positive just hours before the flight. We can reschedule. It's going to cost a little bit of money, but at least we're not stuck in some facility-based quarantine. So nonetheless, I think the odds are on our favor. I think we're going to make it to the Philippines, and we'll get home start to finish from here, it's about an 8.5 hour journey. 3.5 hours to Manila, a short layover in Manila, and we fly directly into Calbayog. And our house is like within minutes from the airport, so we'll be home for lunch. The biggest process for us was getting ready. We made our airline reservations directly with PAL. Sometimes I'll use a discount service like Orbitz or Travel Velocity, but because I've got airline miles involved and because the airline is up to date on a lot of the requirements, we chose to go directly with PAL, and that way if there are any changes, reservation changes, we can deal directly with PAL, and it will be much easier. And a lot of the advice online right now is, if you're going to buy tickets to anywhere, deal directly with the airlines. Don't go through the discount services or third-party providers. It can be cumbersome if you encounter problems. Just go directly to the airlines. The process of getting ready for us is pack our bags, turn off the lights, and go. We clean out the refrigerator. We have to have somebody babysit our little kitties, but that's not a problem. We get somebody on site that's going to do that. But we'll be gone for about 5 weeks. So we just put everything on hold here in Guam. All our activities will be on hold, and we'll pick up when we get back in 5 weeks. And I think our plan is now 5 weeks in the Philippines, back here, and then maybe in a couple more months we'll head back there again for maybe a little longer stay. As far as the tickets and the prices from Guam, for the both of us, round trip to Manila and a connecting flight to Calbayog City, which is about a 45-minute flight south into the eastern Visayas from Manila, total cost for both of us was right about $1,500 round trip. Keep in mind, it sounds high, but this is the peak travel season, and because we bought our tickets less than 30 days in advance, or right around 30 days in advance, it's going to get socked to us. So the best thing to do is, if you want to save as much money as possible on plane tickets, buy your plane tickets at least 3 months in advance. Or if you're traveling during the peak season, like the holidays, I'd even go 4 or 5 months in advance. That way you'll ensure that you'll save as much money as possible. And once if the fuel prices ever start coming down, of course that's going to affect the prices of airline travel. Back to the antigen test. No, I don't need to speak about that. I mean, an antigen test is a very simple test. Okay, on the e-arrival card, one of the channels I was watching suggested that you can do the e-arrival card 72 hours in advance of your departure. And the other day I was just playing around with it, so I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and try to log on to the One Health Pass, which is where you have to go to do the e-arrival process. But it's very, very simple. So I logged on, and within 5 minutes, answering just a couple questions, one of the questions was have we tested negative for antigen? Of course, I put yes, even though it's like 28 days in advance. We'll probably have to update that, but we got our registrations complete, and we got our e-arrival tickets, our e-arrival cards, barcode. I think it's just a barcode. None of that stuff has to be uploaded. It's just all you have to do is show it upon arrival, and show your negative antigen test, and you're free to go. There's been some discussion on, whether you can't figure out the e-arrival process. Trust me, it's pretty simple. Like I said, less than 5 minutes. But if you don't want to mess with it before you leave, you can get it done while you're at the airport. But keep in mind, there might be some long lines and there might be some delays involved. But at least try it before you leave, and try it now. If you're leaving in a few weeks, try it now. See if you can get registered. We did. Too bad she can't go with us. Some of the restrictions we've seen mentioned in some of the online videos and comments section. Some people seem to think there are still restrictions, and some people have commented they think that the Philippines is not quite open yet. It's open for all practical purposes. You just have to test negative. Or if you're fully vaccinated, you shouldn't have any worries. So get your tickets, pack your bags, and see you in the Philippines. I know we have several friends that are in the process now of making their reservations. Some good friends just arrived yesterday. We got other friends that are arriving about the same time we are. So we're looking forward to getting to the Philippines, getting some things done around the house, checking on some of the construction projects that have been done while we were gone, hooking up with some old friends and maybe some new ones, and maybe doing a little bit of traveling. We're only going to be there for 5 weeks, so don't know if we're going to get to do much traveling, but we'll do as much as we can. We're going to squeeze it all in. We will be busy, and I will have my drone and my camera, and I will be vlogging about it. So this guy will be back on the Philippine vlogging scene after a 3-year absence. So hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.